All right, welcome back, and I'm glad you're still with us. All right, let's take a look at what we have on our local dailies. Very quickly, on the front page of the Daily Nation, the headline goes, EACC goes for former Moi aid in 25 billion shillings case. EACC goes for former Moi aid in 25 billion shillings case. Total value, they say that Mr. Kulei was personal assistant to former President Daniel Arap Moi. Now, the story goes that a case was filed before the Environment and Land Court in Mombasa by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, claims that companies associated with former Moi aide Joshua Kulei illegally annexed 10 parcels of land from Moi International Airport in Mombasa that host crucial installations, including part of the runway and military and United Nations support bases. Now, the EACC also seeks to recover 984 million shillings it says was illegally paid to Kulei and his associates as compensation for land compulsorily acquired for the standard gauge railway and the Dongo Kundu Kipevu road projects. That story is completely fleshed out for you in the Daily Nation. Haggling that led to the rejection of Malonza by MPs. The House Committee approved 23 out of 24 Cabinet Secretary nominees that sent to Parliament by President William Ruto. The rejection of Ms. Malonza, Penina Malonza on competence grounds divided the House, with a section of MPs vowing to save her. Will they? That is the big question. Of course, that will only happen through the amendments of that particular report. Conflicting police reports deepen mystery of journalists' shooting. The body has so far been taken back to Pakistan for the final rites. All right, Ruto ends Uhuru's Kazi Mtaani project, says that the funds will be spent on housing. That is on page 36. And very quickly on the deeper part here of the newspaper, conflicting police reports deepen mystery around journalist's death. It has now emerged that a GSU officer was shot during the incident in Kajiado County on Sunday night. So the newspaper says that in an attempt to reconstruct the events leading to Sharif's shooting, it has also been established that the journalist and Mr. Kuram Ahmed spent Sunday afternoon in Ammo Dump at Kenya, an entertainment complex that also has a shooting range and which is popular among Pakistani gun enthusiasts. It is also located on a feeder road in Kamukuru, which is 85 kilometers south of Nairobi. So there is a story here that you have to look at. Very quickly, MPs, will MPs save Malonza? House starts debate on vetting report. Tourism cabinet nominee is the only one who was not recommended for appointment by House Committee. That is what's in the Daily Nation. And the reason we are here is haggling that led to Malonza chop amid split. We have got Azimio lawmakers who wanted all four nominees. That is Penina Malonza, Mithika Linturi, Aisha Jumo, and Njuguna Ndungu, dropped by but the Kenya Kwanza side agreed to one name. That is Penina Malonza. And finally, on the Daily Nation, Ruto has failed starving Kenyans, charges Raila. Opposition chief accuses new regime of focusing on 2027 general election instead of drought crisis. In a statement, Mr. Odinga censured the government for what he termed as lackluster response to drought and famine in Kenya, even as he reiterated his stand against reintroduction of genetically modified organisms, otherwise known as GMO. That is on the Daily Nation. And on the Standard here, MPs warning shot to Ruto's cabinet. Amid clouds of doubt, all but one of President Ruto's cabinet nominees sailed through committee vetting. By last evening, Penina Malonza was on verge of being saved by the plenary. As debate picks up this morning, focus now shifts to the heavy tasks that await them. That is here. And of course, on the front page, we have got Malonza there and Mithika Linture, Aisha Jumwa, who also had some hard time during the vetting committee, the vetting process. 40 years in jail for man who killed magistrate court. That's a story again on the front page. Raila's families unclaimed millions. Take a look at that story on page 23. India prides in new UK premier. Again, the new prime minister in the UK as that. Now, fatal errors in the killing of Pakistani journalist. A car reportedly taken from a parking bay in a Pakistani estate, and which is at the center of investigations into the killing of a Pakistani journalist, was not stolen as earlier believed. Take a look at that story. On to the front page of the Star newspaper. Why Kalonzo turned down Ruto's job offer. Why Kalonzo turned down Ruto's job offer. Allies says that former Vice President putting house in order, focusing on 2027 presidential bid. We had this discussion here on Monday, and here it is now. With the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kitui, who said that it's all system go for 2027. Cops in Pakistani ushered shooting are disarmed. A team of police officers allegedly involved in the fatal shooting of Pakistan journalist Arshad Sharif surrendered their weapons as part of investigations into his death. Now, the investigating team also wants to establish if any other shooter was involved. And yeah, that is what's on the front page. And finally, why 3 Ruto picks, CS picks are on verge of rejection. Pretty much what's on the front page of the Daily Nation and the Standard, as well as now the Star. And finally, People Daily. High costs, Ruto asks for 1 year. President pleads for more time to tame rising inflation, appearing to change tune on his pre-election pledge to ensure the prices of food go down in 100 days. He was speaking yesterday in Langata constituency, and he said that he needs at least 1 year to streamline everything in his government. Raila falls state's war on hunger, again, something captured there on the Standard. Your sins are forgiven, Ronaldo told. Okay. Will MPs vote for Penina to become next tourism CS? Vetting team led by Speaker Wetangula has proposed that she be rejected, but mood in the House was different ahead of vote today. That story is captured there very in details for you. Legislators shoot down Malonza CS nominee call. A report which was tabled by Majority Leader, that is Kimani Chungwa, in Parliament. And we are waiting to see how that is going to pan out today, now that they still have a sitting today, whether an amendment is going to be made to the report or to be rejected in totality. Again, finally here, mystery deepens in Pakistani journalist roadblock murder. Story covered in almost all the local dailies here. Police report says that a GSU officer also sustained a bullet injury at the makeshift roadblock. That is, according to the report, the gentleman called Mutuku and another officer were acting on a tip-off from a certain officer that a vehicle, KDJ 700F, said to have been involved in an abduction case, had been sighted along that route. However, when the vehicle approached the roadblock at around 20 hours, its occupants defied orders to stop and instead opened fire that led the officers injured in the rest. That is on the front page. That is what we have on the local dailies. And